In the early 20th century, a British captain fighting to save his entire crew. In those same years, a Norwegian explorer who won history's most dangerous race. Two explorers, two different fates. But who was the greater leader? The one who sacrificed or the one who succeeded? Come, let's discover together two legends of the ice. December 1914. The ship Endurance set sail toward Antarctica. 28 crew members preparing for one of history's bravest expeditions. Ernest Shackleton was an explorer born in Ireland. The mysterious world of the poles enchanted him. His goal was immense: to cross the Antarctic continent completely. Massive ice sheets surrounded the ship in the Weddell Sea. By January, the Endurance could no longer move. 9 months of ice captivity had begun. The crew set up camp on the ice. Shackleton organized football matches to keep morale high. Leadership wasn't just about giving orders, it was about giving hope. At the end of October, the enormous pressure of the ice began crushing the Endurance. Shackleton ordered to abandon the ship. Now, the only goal was survival. The crew gathered at their new camp called Ocean Camp. 3 small boats, tents, and limited provisions. Discipline and order were the keys to survival. Shackleton encouraged his men every day. They hunted seals, ate penguin meat. In the darkness of night, he told stories. He wasn't just a commander, he was their father. In April 1916, the ice cracked. The crew pulled the boats and set out again. Cold, exhaustion, and uncertainty surrounded them. When they reached Patience Camp, provisions were running low. But Shackleton never lost hope. Every morning, he woke with a smile, giving courage to his men. True leadership is being a light in the darkness. The ice reached open ocean. On April 9th, they boarded 3 small boats. Before them lay 1,300 kilometers of a deadly journey. The destination, Elephant Island. After 7 days and 7 nights of terrifying voyage, they reached Elephant Island. For the first time in 16 months, they set foot on land. The team wept with joy. Shackleton made a bold decision. With 6 men in the James Caird boat, he would travel 1,300 kilometers to South Georgia. This was the last hope. On April 24th, the James Caird set out to sea. 6 men in a 7-meter boat in the world's most dangerous waters. But Shackleton's determination was stronger. For 17 days, the hellish journey continued. Waves constantly flooded the boat. No sleep, no hot food, just endurance, rowing, survival. On May 10th, South Georgia Island appeared, but the whaling station was on the other side of the island. Impassable mountains lay before them. Shackleton decided again they would walk. 3 men began a 36-hour non-stop mountain trek. Glaciers, steep slopes, cliffs. No one had ever attempted this route before. On May 20th, they saw the Stromness whaling station. For the first time in 2 years, they encountered civilization. The station manager didn't recognize Shackleton at first. When he arrived, Shackleton's first words went down in history. "Are all my men safe?" He had emerged from 2 years of nightmare. But first, he asked about his crew. That is true leadership. Shackleton immediately launched a rescue operation. He made 3 attempts to rescue the 22 men on Elephant Island. Ice blocked his way, but he didn't give up. The 4th attempt succeeded. When the men waiting on Elephant Island's shore saw a ship on the horizon, they couldn't believe it. The boss had returned. 22 men were rescued. All were alive. Shackleton embraced every man who boarded the ship. Tears were in his eyes. A failed expedition had become history's greatest leadership story. The world welcomed Shackleton as a hero, but for him, true success was bringing his men home. He hadn't crossed Antarctica, but he had taught humanity something greater. In 1922, at age 48, he died in South Georgia. He was embarking on a new expedition again. His wife wanted him to stay there. It was his home. Ernest Shackleton's legacy is the most beautiful lesson ever written on leadership. Success isn't measured only by reaching a goal. Bringing your team home safely is the greater heroism. In those same years, in that same region, a different story was being written. Get ready for an epic. 16th of July, 1872, a child born in Borg, Norway, didn't yet know he would become a hero of the poles. At 15, young Roald found his life's mission reading John Franklin's Arctic Adventures. The poles called to him with passion. At 21, losing his mother, he abandoned his medical studies. The seas and unknown lands became his classroom. 1897, he became second captain on the Belgian Antarctic expedition, his first winter in Antarctica. The survival lessons had begun. 1903, with the ship Gioa, he embarked on a historic voyage. Crossing the Northwest Passage would be a 3-year challenge. From the Inuit, he learned to use dog sleds, how to survive in extreme cold. He didn't know yet, but this knowledge would make him legendary. 1906. After 3.5 years of struggle, he succeeded. He was the first human to traverse the Northwest Passage connecting Atlantic and Pacific. He was loyal to King Haakon VII of Norway, so he sent news of his first success to him. He'd succeeded, but his mind was on the North Pole. 1909, Robert Peary claimed he'd reached the North Pole. Amundsen was disappointed. He wanted to be first, but he didn't give up. He changed his plan. The South Pole became his new target. Aboard the Fram, he left Oslo in June 1910. No one knew his true route. At Madeira, he revealed the truth to his crew. They were heading to Antarctica. He telegraphed his rival, Robert Falcon Scott. A silent race had begun. January 1911, he established Framheim Camp at Whale Bay. 52 dogs, sleds, and meticulous planning. Every detail calculated. 8th of September, first attempt, minus 56 degrees. The dogs were freezing. Progress was impossible. They had to turn back. 19th of October, the second attempt began. 4 men, 4 sleds, 52 dogs. The first goal, to climb Axel Heiberg Glacier. On the glacier, they had to kill 18 dogs. It was a difficult and painful decision, but survival mattered more than anything. 56 days they marched. 14th of December, 1911, they succeeded. They were the first to set foot on the South Pole, a day of history. They pitched a tent, planted the Norwegian flag. They left a letter for Scott. They began the return journey on the 18th of December. 25th of January, 1912. A 99-day journey had ended. The entire team returned alive and well. The dogs had even gained weight. Reaching Hobart, he telegraphed the world. He gave lectures. His fame reached its peak. He was honored with the South Pole Medal. 1926, with the airship Norge, alongside Lincoln Ellsworth and Umberto Nobile, he flew over the North Pole. 12th of May, over the North Pole, they left the Norwegian, American, and Italian flags on the ice. He had now reached both poles first. 18th of June, 1928. Nobel's airship crashed. Without a moment's thought, Amundsen boarded a plane to rescue his old rival. Over the Barents Sea, he vanished. He was never heard from again. The greatest hero of the poles had set sail to eternity in the poles. Roald Amundsen. He became the symbol of meticulous planning, cool-headedness, and courage. The legendary explorer who conquered both poles will be remembered forever. Which story do you think is more impressive? We're waiting for your comments and subscription to our channel. If you enjoyed this video, you can also watch the same video or similar content in different languages. You can find the access links to our channels, which we broadcast in English, German, Spanish, French, and Turkish in the description area.